I'm re-recording this because the phone tilted up again. Hi, I'm Frubask, your friendly neighborhood home, and it's time for a video on my favorite albums from the start of the year to the end of February, which is when I'm shooting this. I'm also going to be giving like an update on physical media that I've gotten, like CDs and vinyl, because, you know, I got some since. There's a couple. First and foremost, I'd like to shout out a couple deluxe editions. First off, Viagra Boys has released a Japanese deluxe version of their new album Viagra Boys, which came out last year. So if you watched my previous video, you'd know that this was one of my favorite albums this year, and Viagra Boys, honestly, they're just one of my favorite punk bands. They're so good. With this new deluxe version, they've added 4 more tracks. I think my favorite has to be the song Therapy 2. It's really just the most addictive, straightforward punk song, and yeah, loving that. And next up, I'd like to shout out Quadeca with this director's cut of his latest album, Vanisher Horizon Scraper, which also came out last year. Another one of my favorites. This one includes 3 pretty lengthy cuts that go in more of an ambient direction, an ambient and cinematic direction. And I could see why they didn't make the cut, but still, they're really interesting to listen to. Go give them a shot. Alright, so the first album I'd like to shout out for real is A$AP Rocky with Don't Be Dumb. This is the highly anticipated and frankly over-teased album that finally dropped after years of speculation. It was probably not worth the wait, but there is good material on it, I can't deny. Great rapping, flows, lyricism, beats, everything. And yeah, I enjoyed this one a decent bit. Next up, I want to shout out the new By Storm debut album, My Ghosts Go Ghost. From the duo formerly known as Injury Reserve comes a new album under this new name. It is yet even more mind-bending and just DNA-altering experimental and abstract hip-hop. I just feel like I'm just like, my body and mind and soul is just being warped whenever I listen to this. And it is so disorienting, but also in a weird way kind of comforting as well. It's really hard to describe, but I find a lot of solace in it. And yeah, it's another great album. It's definitely going to be one of my favorites this year. Alright, next up I'm gonna shout out Fentanyl with their new album, Man Bites Dog. This is I believe, the debut album of the project, and it is honestly, it's more Fentanyl, but in a way that I think actually makes for a cohesive album listen rather than a bunch of songs stringed together. In a way, each track does feel more like something that would be in an album rather than just another 2-minute single to just go insane to. But that being said, it does still contain a lot of very hyper, very groovy and dancey, abrasive shit that's just kind of hard to compete with. Alright, next one, which is a new album that came out as of yesterday, that would be Gorillaz with their new album, The Mountain. A lot of great tracks, a lot of groovy standouts. Again, it's Gorillaz. This also had quite the rollout over 6 months, I think, at least. Thankfully, they did deliver. They're just one of those bands where you can't describe them as a rock band or an alt-rock band or an alt-pop band or whatever the fuck you want to call them at this point. They're just Gorillaz. And next up, this is a pretty big one for a lot of people, and that would be J. Cole with The Fall Off. This is the highly anticipated and highly teased, probably over-teased a little, final kind of send-off-y album. This giant double album, holy shit, it's a lot, and it's surprisingly consistent across its 100-minute runtime, in which there is a lot to unpack, and while I haven't fully sunk my teeth into all of it over and over again, it is a project that I have gotten a decent bit of enjoyment out of, and there is a lot of genuinely great rapping, flows, and lyricism, and food for thought as well. Alright, now for the couple big ones that I feel are definitely going to be in my top albums, and the first of which would be the new Converge album, Love Is Not Enough. It's yet another Converge album. I mean, yeah, metalcore legends, mathcore, metalcore, whatever you want to call them, they're back with yet another album, which it's been so many years since their previous album, and they're so consistent. I mean, it was obviously worth the wait, and when you're a band that has built up the kind of legacy that Converge has, you can afford to take a break, I guess. It's not like it wasn't worth the wait at all, since I do believe that this new Converge album is just another helping of great, gnarly, loud, and just heavy metalcore. A lot of great tracks on it, aggressive, hard-hitting, and quite a bit of commentary on the world and personal connection with it. For example, the track We Were Never the Same is a track that's all about like how we don't have anything to cherish after hells we've gone through, like for example the COVID-19 pandemic, how after all that, yeah, we were never the same. Yeah, a lot of pretty catchy songs. It's got a bit of a punk flair, which I think Converge pulls off really well, and overall production is great, playing is killer. I'm 100% certain it's going to be one of my favorites this year. And for the final album I want to shout out, I'm going to shout out You Are an Angel with debut album It's Fine to Dream. This is the solo project, the official debut of the solo project of Jay of Glass Beach fame. While she has done like solo work in the past, this really does feel like a bit of a landmark for her, as I think it is like kind of like the culmination of a lot of what she was working on with Glass Beach and stuff. In a way, kind of an evolution of that. I mean, it's obviously not like nearly as flashy or technical as some of the stuff off Plastic Death, but I do still believe that a lot of the material on this new album here is kind of an improvement on all fronts, especially the vocals and production and mixing, which I feel like are given even more clarity than Plastic Death, which is, yeah, definitely something I really appreciate. Overall, it's yet another album with a lot of vulnerable subjects and quite personal lyrics that, honestly, I find myself coming back to it over and over with the same passion and hunger that I do with any Glass Beach album, any Glass Beach song, anything from the band. Yeah, it's an album that a lot of Glass Beach fans are going to get a lot out of, myself included. And I think that's all the albums. And lastly, I'd like to shout out some of the physical media I've gotten over the past couple months. So let's get into that. First off, I got a custom CD, a custom double CD of Perverts by F.L. Cain. Yeah, another one of my favorites of last year. Yeah, I know. I'm late on everything. And yeah, I thank the person on eBay who was selling this, even though I probably could have made it myself, which brings me to my next custom CD, and that would be my 2022 album of the year, As the Universe So the Soul. I got this printed myself, I made the graphics for it and all that, and it was just a really simple process too. Like, look, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, overall it's just a really simple process. I do wish that they made CDs of these, so this is the only one that I know exists, which is pretty awesome to think about. And yeah, just one of my favorite albums. So many people worked on this amazing album. And then I went to one record store the other week and got one vinyl. That vinyl would be Sophie with Oil of Every Pearl's on Insides. I just went to a record store and picked up just this. This is all I got. Rest in peace, and this is a pretty great vinyl. Look at this. We got the pearly white disc. Really sick. Wow. This is the singular vinyl I've gotten this year so far, and the collection will grow. Alright, and that's going to be it for this 2-month stretch, January through February. Those were my favorite albums of these couple months, and I will be back for another update in a couple months later. I'm also going to be working on a video of my favorite albums of 2024 because I never got to talk about them, but I really want to. So yeah, that's in the works. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if I missed anything and what should I listen to next. Peace.